Hello Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Lightning Storm. The series where lightning always strikes twice as we talk about everything that has happened in the past week for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Pretty exciting news actually of Lightning Collection stuff to happen. It's kind of been, a big lull since like May, but we did have those surprise announcements this past Thursday night of the Metallic White Ranger on Hasbro Pulse just available for order, and the pre-orders launching for the Zap Dragon Zord. So I already talked about all of that in its own dedicated video this past Thursday, so be sure to check that one out. It's going to pop up somewhere on the screen here for you to click a link to see it. But today we're going to talk about everything else that has happened for the Lightning Collection this past week, and some other stuff from San Diego Comic-Con, because we have a little bit of news from it, even though we thought we weren't going to get any. So let's go and get right on into it. So first up for the week, we have all of the different roleplay items in the Lightning Collection. So as we've been seeing the last couple of weeks and such, the Blue Ranger helmet has been out in the UK, and it's actually starting to release here in the US in certain different, smaller comic book shop retailer kind of things. So I saw a couple of posts about that, and it's currently still in stock on Big Bad Toy Store as well. But speaking of Big Bad Toy Store, they have now put the Power Sword in stock. So this is the big one. The $220 Power Sword that was first revealed back in April is now in stock, just as people are starting to receive the Power Lance and everything like that within the past week or so. So nobody has seemingly got the sword in hand yet, because it did just go up in stock on Big Bad Toy Store, but there will be a link for it in the description below if you guys would like to pick that up. I really want this sword, and I'm 100% buying it for completion's sake, but also genuine interest in this item, but I'm going to try to maybe wait on a sale on it. It's pretty pricey, but it's also started to ship out for people in the UK as well, I think alongside the Power Lance as well, so the UK should be getting both of those items in pretty soon, which that's a lot of expensive stuff one after another, with the Draken helmet, the Blue Ranger helmet, and now the Lance and the sword. That's all the expensive stuff, and I think they're supposed to still be slated to get the Zap Dragon Zord, or the Zap Megazord, within the next week, because some stores said they were going to have it by the end of July, and that's in a week. So good luck, UK fans, if you're collecting everything, because yikes, that's expensive. But speaking of the Power Lance, since we did have people, actually receiving it this past week or so, we talked about that last weekend. We do have some more pictures and videos of it out there now. We can see the light effects, we can see the motion effects, or kind of the hit sensor effects, the sound effects, which we didn't really ever get to see because Hasbro never did any kind of demonstration video for the Power Lance, because the Power Lance was just announced via social media posts and on internet articles, and it was never shown off in a live stream event, so we never really got to see the sounds and the lights and everything that it could do until people had it in hand. And honestly, that's definitely making it a little bit more enticing. I still don't think it's $130 enticing, but I do like what's going on here, and I do think it's a significant size. We had some pictures from my friend Billy, who posted that it's Billy. Huh, that works out. But he posted a photo of him standing next to it, and he's 6'1", so that's kind of just sort of an idea of how big it is. I definitely think it's an impressive piece, and I definitely am excited to be getting it alongside the Power Sword whenever I think that's a okay price to get those, or a more reasonable price to get those. But love to know down in the comments below, are you picking both these items up now, or are you going to try to wait a little bit, or are you all in right from the get-go? I would love to know what you guys have to say about these. Next up for this week is the Tyrannosaurus Sentry. So this guy, we all know how crazy the story is with him. Last weekend we talked about how it actually started to pop up in Target stores around the country. That's still happening, so I've been getting more and more tweets sent my way of people finding it in their local Targets. The PopFindr link for it will be in the description again, just like it was last weekend, if you'd like to search the Target stores in your area and see if they have the figure. I know some people apparently are finding it, and it apparently has a street date of July 31st, and it's not letting them buy that, or it's part of July 31st. I guess they're doing a toy reset in Target, which seems to happen pretty much every July. I think that's pretty much an annual thing, or sometime around that time of the year we get those kind of things happening. That's kind of what led to Down in Treasure Black a couple years ago. He popped up during one of the store resets in July, so it does kind of make sense that that's why we're seeing the Tyrannosaurus Sentry now. I know there was a couple Star Wars Black Series figures from Rogue One that had a very similar problem to the Sentry. They were actually also all stuck in a pre-order limbo since June of 2021, so not as long as we were waiting, but still a pretty considerable amount of time, and they're starting to pop up as well. for people who, wanted those or, hadn't found them before. Now, speaking of that July 31st date, and this could just be because of the whole, changing setups with the toy aisles and everything, but the Target website now does claim a July 31st shipping date. So hopefully by next Sunday, we'll actually start to see the Sentry shipping out from Target.com, finally getting rid of those pre-orders that have been stuck in people's accounts, or maybe not, because Target has been canceling them randomly for people for the past year. But hopefully those will actually finally start shipping out soon, so we can finally get this figure in our collections and be done with it. So for the rest of the show, we have stuff from San Diego Comic-Con to talk about, because while we didn't technically get Lightning Collection announcements during the convention, they did show off Metallic White and Dragon Zord during the Boom Studios panel, which was the only Power Rangers panel that was officially supported by Hasbro in any capacity for this entire weekend. As far as we are aware, we shouldn't expect any other Lightning Collection news this entire weekend, but I'll keep an eye out and see if anything happens. There could be random drops or something like that, like there was this past Thursday night. I'm not betting on it, but I guess the chance is always there. However, just because of Hasbro being in attendance to Comic-Con, and they don't have Power Rangers products there. People have been at the convention for days. They confirmed that there is no Power Rangers products from Hasbro, like on the actual show floor. There's some other Power Rangers stuff that isn't Hasbro specifically, like mini-mates and stuff like that, but we do have nothing on the actual floor from Hasbro for the Lightning Collection. But, so like I said, since Hasbro's just there in general, they made some just general Hasbro announcements that did kind of end up pertaining to Power Rangers, starting with PulseCon. That's right, Hasbro PulseCon is returning for a third year in a row. So we had already kind of known that this was going to be a thing, or knew this was going to be a thing, back in, I think it was in May or June. One of the times that the Hasbro Marvel team went live on Instagram, they kind of talked about when they revealed, it was whenever they revealed that like Mojo set, the X-Men thing, they talked about how this was going to be, available later on. They mentioned PulseCon basically, so it kind of implied that we were going to be getting one for a third year in a row. And also, since Power Rangers is not attending SDCC, we were kind of hoping that there'd be some other kind of event for them to attend, because we also know Hasbro's not attending Power Morphicon in person as well. So Hasbro PulseCon has been officially announced to be taking place of the weekend of Friday, September 30th through Saturday, October 1st, 2022. Now, as of right now, Power Rangers I don't think has technically been confirmed like 100% for the event, but if they don't go, I drop the Lightning Collection. I'm serious. Like, we need announcements at Hasbro PulseCon, so fingers crossed. I mean, I'm pretty confident in saying that Hasbro is going to bring Lightning Collection stuff there. There's no reason why they wouldn't. So we can now look forward to Hasbro PulseCon happening for a third year in a row. I think the 2021 was pretty great. I think it's probably the best Lightning Collection announcement event we've ever had. 2021, pretty solid, and then they revealed the NFT Megazord and ruined the whole thing. So we're kind of 50-50. We're kind of a 1-1 right now. So, but besides the dates, we don't have anything else for official Hasbro PulseCon announcements in terms of like if there's going to be exclusives available during it. We don't know if we're going to get a Lightning Collection exclusive like that for this year, because they didn't announce one to go alongside SDCC like they did for these other brands. So that's yet to be seen if we're going to get something like that, but we could. I'm also expecting that PulseCon's going to be the official launch of the Selfie series, which we know is also coming to Hasbro Pulse this fall and is also being previewed at Comic-Con. There was actually a big booth just demonstration of the Selfie series. I know some people, if you got in the lucky tickets, or they were giving out like tickets to actually be the first to pre-order the Selfie series figures there at Comic-Con, and they had this big display of some examples, which I actually got to see the best look at the Lightning Collection box for the Selfie series that we've had so far, which we got it in a couple of the promo shots and a couple of the videos, but we didn't really get like a nice look at like the front view of it. We can see it here. You still have some Tom Whalen artwork on there for Mighty Morphin Red, and I think it looks pretty nice. I cannot wait to actually try out the Selfie series and kind of go through the process and see how it goes, and definitely see how the figures turn out. But I would say that the Selfie series official launch during PulseCon is probably a pretty safe bet, even though that has not technically been confirmed. Now, speaking of confirmed, though, we technically have some Lightning Collection announcements, sort of, and that comes in the form of this letter that was sent out via like a press release to different influencers. Whoever gets the typical press releases from Hasbro, they sent out a big letter talking about their plastic-free packaging initiative that we know that they've been working on throughout 2022 on all of their different brands, and we've already seen it take effect in like Marvel Legends and everything. We've talked about this on Lightning Storm numerous times, but we do get to see here the Star Wars Black Series, the final design for the standalone figure releases for that. They finally decided how those are going to look. But the important part here is that in the actual letter that they sent out to influencers and for people to post on news sites and everything, there's this sentence I'm going to read word for word. The Power Rangers Lightning Collection lines will reveal new plastic-free packaging in the coming weeks. So this article, or this letter, had some images as examples from G.I. Joe, from Marvel, from Star Wars, but nothing for Power Rangers. Now, I have told you guys a long time ago, and I've said it numerous times, Wave 13 is going to be kicking off the plastic-free packaging look for the mainline figures, and we're already seeing the plastic-free packaging with items like the Little Draken helmet, and the Blue Ranger helmet, and the Power Lance, the Power Sword, and also the Color Swap 2-pack. The Color Swap 2-pack is the first time we've gotten to see what the plastic-free packaging is going to look like for the actual figures. Now, what's really interesting is that we know that Wave 13 is going to kick off the plastic-free packaging, but we also know that Wave 12 still has plastic packaging thanks to the hilarious amount of leaked photos from Wave 12 that we have out there. We still cannot pre-order Wave 12, you know how this goes. That's right, I saved it for last. This is the Wave 12 update of the week. You still can't get it. So Dino Thunder Yellow and Wild Force Blue, even though they've been out for numerous different weeks in different countries, Lost Galaxy Green and the version of Adam is Mighty Morphin Black we're going to get, we still haven't seen any pictures of, but because of the fact we've seen at least half the wave released, we know for a fact Wave 12 is still using plastic. So, what this letter is actually saying, if we can actually believe that sentence word for word and what it actually is saying, is that Wave 13 is going to be revealed in the coming weeks. Which means they gotta reveal Wave 12 soon, because I would certainly hope that they will reveal Wave 13 after 12. I would think, right? So hopefully, and I would not be surprised if Wave 12 at this point is very similar to a metallic white situation. I'm personally expecting it at this point to just be in stock whenever they announce it, because clearly Wild Force Blue, Dino Thunder Yellow have been manufactured for a while, so I don't know why there'd be no reason for us to have to pre-order those figures. So hopefully we don't have to pre-order them. Hopefully they are just in stock whenever that happens. But I think in the coming weeks, that could be months from now, that could be at PulseCon that they're referring to as incoming weeks, or that could be like an announcement that they make during August around Morphicon. We know that they're sending marketing materials to Morphicon, but they're not actually going to be there at Morphicon to make announcements, so it's possible that maybe we'll see Wave 12 as a surprise thing, maybe even during Comic-Con this weekend still, or maybe within the next week, or maybe sometime before August, and then maybe we'll see Wave 13 at the end of August or something like that. I would hope that we don't have to wait until the end of September, the beginning of October, because we don't know if it's going to be September 30th or October 1st that we get a Power Rangers panel at PulseCon. So hopefully we don't have to wait till September, October for Wave 13 and to actually see the plastic-free packaging on the mainline figures. But like I said, we've already seen it in some capacity, so we should know what to expect with that. And then real quick, if you guys don't remember who's going to be in Wave 13, for who's going to kick off this new plastic-free packaging look, Wave 13 is going to be Dino Charge Blue, Beast Morphers Yellow, Dino Fury Green, and a Wild Force Putrid. Did you catch it? I said Wild Force Putrid. I didn't say Wild Force Villain this time. So I've heard from a couple different sources now that we could expect, or we should expect, the Wave 13 figure for Wild Force the Villain to be a Putrid, the foot soldiers of the season, and not Zenaku or any other villain that people would actually want from Wild Force. I mean, Putrids are fine, and I do know that they like doing army builders in waves. We saw it in Wave 7, we saw it in Wave 9, we saw it in Wave 11. So I guess every other wave at this point we can expect maybe an army builder, so Wave 13 would be another wave after that. So I don't know, I've heard Putrid, I haven't seen any definitive proof, but I've heard it from enough different sources that I'm comfortable in saying that the Wild Force villain in Wave 13 is going to be a Putrid. So if you stayed to the end of this video to find that out, kudos to you. But that's it. That's basically everything I got in that. So hopefully we get to see Wave 13 soon. But honestly, we get to see Wave 12 soon. That's what I really want to see, because this letter implies Wave 13, so we need Wave 12. And that's everything we have to talk about for this week. Of course, until next time, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about anything I talked about here in the comments below. Are you going to pick up any of these weapons and stuff like that? What are you hoping to see at PulseCon? Which day do you think we're going to get a Power Rangers panel at? Anything you want to talk about down in the comments below, I'm going to read it. And of course, until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or at LightningFigPR. And I'll see you all in Lightning Storm. This is your Lightning always strikes twice.